All right, so this presentation is going to be about how to master our mind, aka how to quiet it, and then be able to control it to its fullest, to our fullest capabilities. But until then, the mind is going to be our greatest source of limitation. We know by now, if you're watching this channel, you better know by now that everything our mind tells us, we have to stop identifying with it. All this chatter, all these negative thoughts, we have just become so used to this that it just feels natural to be constantly overthinking. So when I was looking for a solution to my anxiety, to fear, to negative self-talk, I found meditation. And I found that we could quiet our mind. And first I thought that that was completely shutting down thoughts, pushing away thoughts, creating a blank mind. A quiet mind is not a blank mind. A quiet mind is one that can actually be used 100%. But that is going to be impossible to actually use our mind 100% until we stop identifying with it, until we realize that is not the real us. What is the real us? I've said it in so many videos. It is us when we are fully in the present moment. It is us in no thought, no thinking. And we're going to talk about why actually all thoughts are sources of limitation. You know, let's say you get really engulfed in a movie or a TV show. For me, it's a really good sporting event on TV. I lose myself and I reach a state of pure bliss, a state of no thinking. I am fully into whatever I'm doing. In this state, think about it. You don't suffer. You don't think about your problems. You are not worrying at all. And I think this just goes over everyone's heads because it's so simple. You know, we say be present, right? And it's become this great cliche term. But in the same way that we become completely enveloped in that movie, we can become completely into the movie that is our life, our everyday life. And it can become as entertaining, if not more entertaining, as that movie. And this is, like I said, being fully present, we experience timelessness. In timelessness, you find your true self. Our true self really is unlimited, and time is a limited factor. It is finite. And so we got to get our mind out of the damn way. And it's time to stop paying attention to all this stuff going on outside of us, trying to change everything that's going on outside of us. But then we find ourselves right in the same spot. Physical reality is the third dimension, right? Physical matter. That's a lower dimension than what our mind, and then greater our consciousness, which is above our mind, is operating in higher dimensions. So when we realize that it's not anything going on outside of me that causes me to be happy, it's how I am looking at it from the inside. You have just unlocked higher dimensional consciousness, and you realize that the only change that needs to happen is inside our inner world. So our limitations are created on the inside. And so when we change things or change ourselves from a higher dimension, it trickles into our everyday life, our external reality, in so many more different ways than just changing one thing outside of us. And another thing that I've talked about a million times on this channel is how important it is to be peaceful no matter how chaotic, stressful, terrible the situation is outside of us. If you can get to a point where you can be peaceful no matter what, you are that strong. Nothing at all can touch you. That is like unlimited power right there. But I think in the past, I was always trying to force peace. I was always trying to force my mind to be quiet or silent. But it's a whole lot easier when we learn to release all of our limitations, our fears, our stresses, our worries, instead of push them down. That's what we're going to talk about as we move on in this video. Peace is right where we are. We should know that by now. All right. Now, this is a very controversial statement. And when I first heard it, this is from Lester Levinson, Keys to the Ultimate Freedom. Please, if you get your hands on a copy of this book, do it. Pay money for this book. I think I paid $50 or $60 for this book. probably worth like $700 at least. Lester said something very radical, I think, to a lot of people. He said that all thoughts are a source of limitation, not just negative thoughts. No, he's saying every single thought, even the good thoughts, even empowering thoughts, are a source of limitation. So I wanted to unpack that. And I was thinking, what about the phrase, I don't mind? I do not mind. I pay no mind. I don't mind means what? I don't care. I could care less. It makes no difference to me. It doesn't matter to me. So what? When you say this, you're basically saying, I have no mind. And basically, I don't mind is saying, I am not attached. That is a very powerful state to be in. I have no problem because I don't mind what happens. So basically, I'm not creating any unnecessary suffering or turmoil within me. I'm not trying to resist what happens, change what happens, control what happens. I don't care. I am unattached. Basically, what you're saying is I am free. I am content with where I am now. So no thought equals nothing to do or change. Essentially, it's being whole, perfect, where you are right now. And of course, I had to get the ChatGPT explanation on this, right? And what do you know? ChatGPT actually kills it. I'm just going to read it. Most thoughts are inherently limiting because they operate through distinction. The mind defines by separating this versus that, success versus failure, past versus future, me versus the world. In order to think about something, it must shrink reality into a concept, a label, a boundary. Even empowering thoughts are still structures. They create a framework that filters what is possible. Thought is incredibly useful for navigating the world, but it functions like a map. And no map, no matter how advanced, is the full terrain. Pure beingness, on the other hand, exists prior to thought. It is the silent awareness in which thoughts arise. Before you label yourself a certain role, status, identity, or an emotional state, there is simply the fact of existence, the sense of I am, the real us. That state has no boundary because it has no definition. It is not constrained by memory, projection, identity, or comparison. In that space, creativity flows freely, intuition sharpens, actions become less forced, yada, yada, yada. The paradox is that the mind seeks freedom through more refined thinking when freedom is actually discovered in the absence of compulsive thought. When you stop identifying with every idea that passes through, you begin to experience yourself as the awareness behind them. Thoughts become tools rather than cages. In that shift from thinker to being, you move from limitation, yada, yada, ChatGPT speak, all right? So I've gotten pretty good at being fully present. And I've learned that I am not my mind. I detach from my thoughts. I control my response to the thoughts that I have instead of being just a straight up victim to them. But I will go back to times of feeling limited. My problems and my troubles and my worries and my fears take over. And I still notice that I am holding on to things from the past, whether it be habits or mental patterns, attachments, whatever it is. I think I've done a pretty good job of detaching from the thoughts that I am conscious of. But I have not quite let go, or I'm still identifying with thoughts that I am unconscious of, that I have no idea are operating in my awareness. It is limitations that I am unconsciously agreeing to because they are so deeply rooted into myself that I have no idea they're even there. This is just deep in the iceberg, right? Fears, unacceptable desires, violent motives, irrational wishes, immoral urges, selfish needs, shameful experiences, traumatic experiences. They got pushed so far down, deep within our consciousness. So we can't even begin to start quieting our mind. If we are so oblivious to these things, we got to bring them up to the surface where we can face them. And the most effective way to bring up what you are unconscious of is to just analyze yourself when you get triggered. When you are disturbed or uncomfortable, just stop yourself before you feed into that. And that really takes some self-awareness, some self-control. It is hard to do, to stop yourself in the moment. But this is you starting to get full control over yourself. And just take a look at these things that you are triggered by. and figure out why. Look deeper than this specific instance why you're triggered. Look back in the past. Think about why you automatically react this way. Why are you uncomfortable? Why do you feel uneasy? These are clues to what you are storing deep within yourself. So we got to start to stir some of that stuff up and to really let go of it once and for all. We have to release it. This is purifying ourselves, spiritual purification. And this does not mean pushing away or avoiding. I wish I could say this is easy, but it's not. It's not easy to face these things. And because we don't want to face it, we keep subconsciously acting it out in everyday life. We're projecting it without even realizing it. So we are not acting as a free, sovereign being. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. If in our heart we still cling to anything, anger, anxiety, or possessions, we cannot be free. And so when you start to notice this stuff, when you start to bring it to the surface, you're kind of going to have to start to fight it. You're going to have to feel that anger or anxiety or stress, whatever it is, and you're going to have to push against it at first. But this is okay, because what we're doing is we're turning the tides. We are going from very unconscious to what we're running on, to what is limiting us, to what we're subconsciously believing in. Now we're going to start to bring it to our conscious awareness. And now it's building the habit of not identifying with any of this stuff. And again, this is so simple that it goes over most people's head. Why does any of that shit have to define us? Why do we have to believe it? We don't have to believe any of that stuff. We don't have to believe any of the stories that our mind tells us. And so if you truly believe in your power to do this, then you're going to stop entertaining what your mind says. You realize you don't have to listen to it. And so that's when true freedom actually starts, when we take control over our inner world and we free ourselves from suffering inside of us. That is when we become free, and we can really tap into pure joy and happiness, pure freedom, no matter where we are, no matter what is going on, again, outside of us. And another thing that I talked about in, I think it was my last video, that has really helped me to stop struggling, to stop creating unnecessary turmoil, is just really starting to believe that things are already perfect. There's no need to fight against and attempt to control reality. And I think people get this confused. They think this means just give up, don't try, just accept where you are in life. I don't mean that. I surely do have intentions for the future, places I want to go, but I'm not resisting where I am right now. If I have to wait in a long line, and my initial reaction is getting annoyed, hoping the line goes faster, causing unnecessary suffering because I'm just rejecting the moment, not living fully in the present, living more in the future, and hoping that the line goes faster. But a powerful switch that you can make in moments like that, when you feel yourself getting disturbed like that, is just starting to believe things are already perfect. What kind of opportunities are present in this moment? And when I tell myself this, I feel my body loosening up. I feel myself releasing all this tension. And right there, my mind gets quiet. And the more that I really just let go, again, another cliche term, but a very powerful, simple term, letting go, releasing. These are 4 things, again, from the book that Lester Levinson says we need to let go of. 1, attachments. Now, the crazy thing he said is we need to let go of, surely, negative attachments, things that don't serve us, but even positive or so-called good things. We can become a prisoner to those. An amazing quote. He said, gold and iron chains are still chains. Gold being the positive chains, right? Then we got to let go of aversions or things we are trying to avoid. What we avoid, we can run from it. We can get so far away from it, but we are still a prisoner of it. So one of the hardest things to do is face your fears or face what you subconsciously or unconsciously avoid. And then tendencies. This is a big one. Tendencies keep us stuck in the past or keep us stuck in what is familiar to us, stuck in what we know. If you notice, you just observe your mind. It is constantly creating tendencies. It wants repetition, but we stay limited when we feed into those. Same thing with predispositions, holding strong opinions, thinking we know the answer, thinking we know anything at all. It keeps us from true knowledge. And this is going to take time. So we're bringing all that stuff deep within us, right? We're becoming aware of all our unconscious programming that is limiting us. And so we bring some stuff up to the surface to be analyzed and then to be let go. Do not force this. It really takes time. Just let go of what you're ready for. If you're not ready to let go of it yet, just let it ride. Eventually you will naturally be ready to let go of it. And when you let go of it all, that's when you become free. That's when your mind truly becomes quiet. And here's a question. Why are we subconsciously scared to let go of the past? Another thing you got to start paying attention to in yourself is we are scared to let go of the past. We cling to what we know, right? We cling to what is safe. Our excessive thinking, fears, and worries are only trying to help us survive. That's it. The key is to let go of the subconscious need to survive. That is what is underlying all of this. It is the fear of dying, straight up. And so I want you to start meditating. If you don't meditate yet, just try it. Sit for 3 minutes and meditate. There's so many things you can do with meditation. You can use it to quiet your mind, aka let go of thought. Don't force thought down. You can use it to increase your awareness, increase awareness of what is going on around you, what is going on inside of you. You can also use it to unlock all knowing. Try this. Sit in silence and meditate just on a question. Answers are going to come. It's going to be subtle. Answers are going to come. And please continue meditating even though it's uncomfortable, even though you don't want to sit in silence, even though your mind is chattering like crazy. And you're going to start to notice this weeks or months down the line with consistent practice. Doesn't even have to be that long, 5-10 minutes a day. But eventually you're going to want to sit there longer because it feels so good. It's freedom. It's peace, it's bliss, it's happiness, it's full presence. But eventually all that meditating is going to become a part of you and you are going to be more present, free. Your mind is going to be more quiet all the time. And at that point, that's where you become a master over your mind. Eventually you're going to get a glimpse of your limitless nature. And I really can't explain it. I think I've tried, but what it feels like, it feels very light. It feels expansive. And so that is how you can master your mind, master reality, master yourself, all that stuff. Let me know what you think. See ya.